and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to convene as the Walworth County Planning and Zoning Board. Is there any old business? New business?
Hearing none, I move for adjournment.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Second.
A second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Convene as Walworth County Board of Zoning Adjustment. Is there any old business? New business?
Hearing none, I move for adjournment.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second. A second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Convene as a Board of County Commissioners. I would take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Second. Oh, hold on, you got,
Oh, I didn't.
I can say it during discussion. I just need one item removed from the agenda, Scott. On mine.
Okay.
The fourth, the very last bullet item under sheriff and jail.
Is it higher?
Yep.
Okay, I had a motion and a second. You want that removed? Let me do it right now, won't we? Just remove it now. So all in favor say aye.
right?
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Hand me that. Record. Thank you. Linda.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me address the board today. First of all, I guess I'd like to clarify something. At several of the meetings that I've been attending, I've made statements to the board, and basically I feel like I've been accused of making false statements. And the statements I have documents to back up the statements I've been making. And rather than debate them, the board just says that they're not true, facts I have are not correct, and just move on. And I guess I don't appreciate being said that my statements are not true. I mean, if the board feels they're not true, then let's discuss them, not just make a statement and move on to something else. And as far as giving notes to commissioners, I don't believe there's anything on the books that says I'm not allowed to do that and have to share it with all the commissioners. And if there is something, I guess I need to be informed on that. And my other thing, I come before the board because I'm a concerned citizen, and this is my forum for speaking and telling what my concerns are. And at the July 16th meeting, there was a request for a wage increase for an employee. And during the discussion, it was stated that there was other people from the landfill highway department that would also like to have increases. And if we approve one, we will have to approve them all. And some are asking for a 22% increase, and was asked, do we want to set a precedent to do this? And the request was denied. Then at the July 25th meeting, another department head came in and requested a wage increase for a part-time employee, and that request was approved. And I guess I'm not questioning whether either employee should have had a raise or not. I'm questioning the process that the board uses to make their decisions. I guess I'm wondering how that comes about. And sometimes I repeat myself and ask questions over and over again is because I don't get an answer. The board declines to answer my questions, so I feel I need to ask them more than once in order to get a response, possibly. And it's my opinion that the board is accountable for the decisions that they make. And as a taxpayer, we have a right to question their decisions. I mean, you were elected to represent us as the taxpayers. And I feel that we have a right to come here and ask questions if we have concerns about what the board is doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn?
Yes, thank you for allowing me to speak. I have a question. When Penny Getz was relieved of her duties, so to say, Commissioner Schlomer and Commissioner Shelley at that meeting said men do not like to take orders from women. So now what is the difference between Penny working or Rebecca Crine working at the landfill? They're all men. What changed the minds?
I'm not gonna answer it.
That's what I thought. I wasn't going to get an answer, but thank you.
Anybody else? Go to number 14. I need a motion to approve the minutes of July 16th. Everybody's gone over them.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second it.
A second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Need a motion to go to approve the July 25th minutes. You all had a chance to go over them? Okay, I got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I second that.
A second. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to go over the claims, but I'd take a motion to approve the claims.
I have a couple of items that, one of them is this bill from Phase Refrigeration and Heating. Supposedly there was some work done in the walk-in cooler over the jail. Is that right, Josh?
I didn't hear you, Kevin.
This bill for Phase Refrigeration and Heating. According to these, there was some work done over in the jail on the walk-in cooler.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with getting somebody to do it, but on the bill here it says labor steward for 3 hours, I guess, and 120 miles. There's nothing on here that says any work that was done or any work performed to let us know what the problem was. Or did he just come and drink coffee for 3 hours? I'm not, hypothetically.
No, I know.
But there is nothing on here that says what any work was done. As somebody else paying the bill, I would want to know what work was performed, just in case there's a problem in the future. We can come back and say, well, on this date, this work was, I had to replace a condenser.
Okay, yep.
So,
I understand. Did they give a detailed report?
They made adjustments and it wasn't cooling properly. The temp was elevated, so they came and did some adjustments. I can have them specify, I guess, next time they give an invoice, what they do.
my suggestion is we don't pay this bill until we get a detail of any work that was performed. So at least we can go back and say, well, you came out on this date we're still having the same issues. There's nothing that says what was done.
Okay, I'll have them put some more detail in their invoice and resend it.
So my recommendation is to hold that bill out and not pay that one. And also with the Clark Engineering bill for the Sitka Road project, I don't know if that work has ever been completed yet. There has been some work done out there, but until he gives us a clear saying that everything is fixed out there, which I don't think it is, because it was never dug up to see all the washing out underneath of the culvert, until he gives us his approval so we can go back on him for any work done.
Jamie, has he said anything to you?
No.
Mike?
There was nothing
Not
done,
with
as far as I
regard to
know.
Sitka.
As far as I know, there was nothing done with all the washout underneath of the culvert. There was a patch on one of the seams on the inside of the culvert. But as far as all that washout that was happening with it underneath, I don't think anything has been done.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Clark.
So I would hold off on that bill also. That was $350.
Anything else?
So with that, I would move for approval of the claims with the exception of those two claims.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Got a second. Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. 16, landfill.
I sent out the landfill reports. Did you guys all receive them? In your papers, there is an updated accounts receivable. When the reports went out, some of the checks hadn't come in yet from the bigger haulers. I don't know if you have any questions.
Are you going to bring up anything like yesterday?
No, because those plans are gonna be changing, as far as the plans. Yeah, we're gonna be changing them, so we'll bring them up at the next meeting.
Anybody have any questions on that? None, I guess we'll go to Pat.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for letting me come in. I'm here on behalf of a group of us. There's 5 of us. We're all past presidents of the Mobridge Rodeo Association. 2 falls ago, there was a piece of property right west of the Sitting Bull Stampede, our rodeo grounds. There's 2 houses and a couple buildings there that are pretty dilapidated and in not very good shape. So we decided us 5 would buy this property to try to clean up the area, since we were building the new grounds and everything, we thought we needed to do this to make everything look nicer. So we would like to tear these properties down and haul them to the landfill. I'm just here asking if they're with some kind of cleanup to make things look nicer, if we could have a little reduction or something in our tipping fees. I know we're not really investors in this property. We're pretty much, investors means that you're gonna try to make money off of this. Well, we're not trying to make money. We're just trying to clean it up, make it look nicer, because everything else is looking better at this point. So What I'm asking for is some kind of reduction in our tipping fees to just kind of help clean it up. So with that, thank you. Any questions?
What's the commission feel?
What is our tipping fee for that?
$20 a ton.
How big are the buildings?
There's two houses there. One's about 20 by 60. That's a double wide, and then the other house is probably about 20 by 40, and then the other garage is probably 12 by 20, and then just another little small one. So I don't know. I figure there's probably going to be, just guessing, I don't know. I was guessing probably between 100 and 150,000 pounds. That's kind of where I'm just guessing. I really, I'm no expert in this, but that's kind of probably four loads.
Yes.
I know, like when the ready-built houses move out, I know they roughly weigh about 100,000 pounds. And that's a 30 by 60 to 30 by 66. So you're probably not very far off on your weight with the smaller houses like that. I would guesstimate in that range too, just based on what they weigh when they move in those houses.
I guess my opinion would be for a cleanup, I have no problem helping to clean up everything. We did do something with the Mobridge Police Department that we had approved to waive tipping fees for up to four roll-offs. I don't know if I just seen this here. So I guess my opinion would be for a cleanup, and you're not trying to make any money off of this, I would be willing to waive half of it, so at least the landfill does still have a little bit of investment in it. I guess if we're gonna set a precedence, my opinion would be for anything being cleaned up like this, we could waive half of it, and we would be the approving board on this if somebody wanted to do it, so somebody just doesn't go to the landfill and say, hey, I'm cleaning up something. If they come in here and ask us and we approve it beforehand, I would be willing to, for a cleanup where they don't have any profit invested in it, in the cleanup, I would be willing to do half of it, if that's all right with the landfill supervisor.
That's the decision of the board.
I guess we'd like your opinion on it.
Well, it's nice to clean things up, but you just don't want to keep going and going and going, or you're just gonna...
So, but that's why I was throwing a second part in. If we're the approving board here, and they have to have approval prior to them starting anything, would you be all right with that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
As long
my,
as it's approved by the board first.
would you guys be all right with that, or?
Yeah, well, we just thought at least since it's a cleanup project, just over there by the rodeo grounds, we're not looking to advance anything, or we just want it cleaned up. So I just came just in case there was a way that we could reduce something. So yeah, we would be tickled.
I just don't want to set a precedence that we're going to clean everything up and then all of a sudden somebody buys all these properties and resells them once they get free cleanup on it. That's why I think we should retain the right to be the approving authority for this board. And it has to be approved before anything gets taken out to the landfill. So I'll make that into a motion if you want.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Got a second. Any more discussion? Guess just to ask you a question, Jamie, what's your take on that?
Whatever you decide. I think what Commissioner Holgard said is I don't think there's any thing that you're doing that wouldn't have to come before this commission anyhow, so I'm not that concerned. It's like someone can't just drive up and say, oh, I get reduced tipping fees. They have to come here to get anything approved, so I don't see a real issue.
But I guess how's a guy really gonna regulate it then to, if and somebody is cleaning up, you know, buy a piece of property and clean it up and then turn around to, I mean, that's,
Well, this is kind of more for the rodeo association.
oh yeah, I'm just talking about,
That's a call that you're gonna have to make as a commission on what you wanna do about cleanup properties. I don't know.
One thing that I thought of when talking here, you know, we got a lot of, in Mulbridge as an example, we've got a lot of properties that could be cleaned up. Would be a wonderful thing if we did this, and I guess if we could, if somebody was coming in as a builder or somebody as a developer and say, I want to buy this property and clean it up, and we end up giving them a reduction and they end up putting a new house on that property, we're gonna get a whole lot more tax dollar revenue out of that new house than we are sitting with that old piece of property sitting there. So I mean, I think there's some value to that, looking at that option too, but I agree that if we sit here and just keep giving reductions for everybody who wants to clean up, well, then nobody's gonna sit there, well, they're gonna not just do a cleanup, they'll wait till they can get approval and go and get, you know, get cleanup and go, but I have no problem with this. I would support this because of the rodeo association and making that whole area look better. I'd be totally fine with that.
anything up, Jim?
I just question, do we want to put a limit on it? How many loads? Because I support this 100%, but what are we gonna do when somebody walks in here and wants to tear down the Brown Palace Hotel? Or something. We've just done this. So,
I'll be honest, I just tore a house down last weekend and my side dump, it was a 2-story house. It was 10 loads.
10 loads.
10.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you could be a tad bit shy on your,
Okay.
but it was 10 loads that I hauled out of there.
Do these
Well,
have
that's
one
basements
house.
under them?
No basements.
So-
There's gonna be some cement and stuff that I will just take to my place, you know, and unload it, because I can use that cement to help on some waterways and stuff. So that heavy stuff, the cement part, will go to my place. It's just the wood and all the other stuff that I'd really rather not have out there.
So my guess is you're gonna have a few more than 4 loads.
Okay.
Like I said,
Well, like I
mine was
say, I'm no expert in
10.
this. I'm just a stupid rancher. That's all I.
So Jim, what were you thinking on, you said that about the amount of loads.
I don't know how to, I'm just looking down the road, I fully support this deal, and that's exactly what Kevin said is what I had in mind when Pat was talking half, but
Could a guy do
I think we've got to
tonnage limit
some way limit it.
instead of loads? Could a guy do it based on so many ton?
Or can we do it on a case-by-case basis?
Yeah, but when Jamie's down here next week and wants to tear down the Brown Palace Hotel, or not to pick on that, any building, you know, maybe with a lot of brick, a lot of, for a cleanup deal. And I realize the rodeo association brings a lot of dollars into this county, and looking nice is important.
Yes, Jim.
I think like Commissioner Holgard was saying is just do it on a case-by-case basis. with the idea that we're not trying to set any precedent here or anything like that. This is a one-time request. We really haven't had any significant requests like this since I've been state's attorney, so, you know, we may not get another one, but treat this as a one-time deal, and everything else, if someone comes with a similar, I don't think there's any obligation for you to grant it or not grant it, so treat this as a one-time deal. And just analyze each one as it comes up.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Number 17, I'd take a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
I got a motion on the floor, I need a second.
No second.
A second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passed. Good 18, discussion regarding employee raise amount for 2020.
I sent you guys out those spreadsheets. I did the calculating and it's coming up to 53 cents an hour per employee, not 73.
That's the 3%?
That's as close to 3% as I could get it.
Thank you.
So then we gotta change that from 73 to 53.
I would, being as it was published in the paper, that it was going to be 73.
Okay, what's the commission want to do then?
Did that take a motion to, or just a correction?
You can just ask them, what do you want to do there?
Do we need a motion to do that? Or?
I doubt it, you just have to change it.
I would support the 53 if that's the 3%. That's what we originally decided on, and we thought would be fair, so.
I like the concept of the going flat number instead of 3% to make it more fair to everybody. My only thing is we should have checked on it with the auditor before we publish that, so now that it's corrected, I'll entirely support the 53 cents raise instead of 73.
Alrighty, then that correction will get made. Josh. I think you can hear me.
Josh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, the first item on the jail and sheriff report, that's usually done at the second one, so that report isn't ready. We do that second meeting, but I didn't catch that right away. So I won't be doing that report today.
I think that's my fault. I don't think you had it on your list, but
That's fine. What we handed out is some stuff that myself and Justin and Commissioner Holgard talked about. We're working on a PowerPoint and that isn't completed, and we'll be presenting that to the commission board before we meet with other counties. Correct, Kevin?
We should be ready to present next meeting on the 20th.
We've completed the U.S. Marshal negotiations. At first, the first three negotiations were I didn't agree to. Second one, or the fourth one that they came back with, there's to get up to the $95 rate, we had to negotiate some transport pricing for them to get it up to that 95. So we did that to achieve that. So we're up to the same locked-in price at this time as what counties are paying. That would be go effective October 1st because of their new budget year.
95 or 97?
97, sorry, Kevin.
And the only transportation is to and from clinics.
Medical stuff, correct. So I misstated that, 97. Just to clarify for the people that are here, $97, it's actually $2 more than what counties pay. Last item,
Mr. Chairman. So based on that 97 now, are we, with the jail condition right now, are we going to allow them to come back in to the facility?
they just did an inspection.
Haven't got the results yet.
We haven't got the results yet, but they were here last Friday to do an inspection. I haven't heard anything negative at this point, but I haven't received a report yet either, so. The last item, decision on, I'm not sure who put that.
I put that on.
Okay.
I put the last one on there just for the fact that for budgets, what are we going to do with that building? So we can put it in the budget of what we're gonna spend on that building instead of just putting a hypothetical dollar sign out there of $150,000 for jail maintenance. I would agree with doing the roof on the new addition. I disagree with the fire escape because we should not be using the top of that anyway. The locked windows, those are the ones up on top. I disagree with spending any money on that because we shouldn't be using any of that upstairs in the old part anyway. So we can put it in the budget. What do you guys feel we should be spending on the old jail until we go to these counties and find out what we're gonna do with that building? What do you want to do as far as budget?
Well, to me, I guess I feel that roof needs to be fixed.
I agree that the roof should be fixed. So that's what, 12,000?
12.5.
Okay, 12,500.
That's this year, by the way. I'm ready to place next month. Sorry.
It's in last year's budget then.
So that'll be done this year. So what do you foresee, if we don't do anything else, what do you foresee that we need to do to that building next year to maintain that building?
Well, I guess, you know, the infrastructure we still have to worry about. I mean, anything that goes on with electrical, plumbing, or anything like that, to keep those dollars there, you know, to keep things functional. My crystal ball doesn't tell me of any major projects that if this commission board is looking at a 2-year, and I'm just throwing a number out there, a 2-year commitment out to decide what they want to do. I don't know what this commission wants to do yet. We're looking at these avenues, and obviously it's going to depend on what we figure out. That's a whole year out. You know, this is going to take some time. We felt it better suitable to meet with each individual commission board. So it's going to take some time than having one big group meeting and have it publicized and have it be called a special meeting for all those entities and have it be here or wherever that location would be. But we thought it best that we meet with each individual board. So it's going to take some time to get that accomplished and done. We have to agree on this process, but again, you know, we've been trying to address the maintenance issues on that for quite some time. I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that because we all know it. It's been presented to the board, but I don't know. I mean, I can't foresee any of the major things. The roof thing, I agree. That's a start. That's slated for this September. It could be sooner. I talked to the roofing company. They're on schedule with other projects, so they're hoping they could possibly even get here sooner than September. All depends on what occurs, but that's what he's hoping for, what it looks like. But
Do you feel 40,000 for maintenance for next year would cover it?
Got them windows, right? Yeah.
well, we're talking. I don't know that we want to do that if we decide to do something and these contracts go into effect 2021, because it'll be for the next budget, the budget year after 2020. I don't know if we would or not, if, you know, spend, I think it was 19, what did I have in there, 17 or 19,000 for windows?
Yeah.
I don't have it sitting in front of me, Commissioner Martin, but seems like that's what the figure was. If we're only gonna be in there 2 years, I don't know if we should spend that. But that, you know, the whole idea, if we push this out, this project out, and we don't have the dollars there yet, and we start bringing that revenue back, which is what's in this plan, then we're gonna have to look at other things. Because I can't foresee not having that revenue there and not keep, you know, because we're already talking not utilizing that. It's gonna be a new structure. So
Ultimately, that'd be my plan, is to have a new structure instead of throwing money at this old structure.
I know that's what with our meetings, that's
our goal.
That's his intention.
That's our goal with this new plan.
But you're looking at a year and a half, 2 years to get into a new building, you know. But if we know what that date is, a person can be more comfortable on what dollars are going to pump into that. I mean, I understand that, and I understand where the board's at. The roof, yes. Windows, if we push that out 20 years, I'm going to say, yeah, we should do the windows. If we're looking at a 2-4 year plan and get the project rolling that much quicker, I would say no. But all depends on what this board decides. because you're gonna have to look at other things, because the windows are shot in that old building. And I mean, it's kinda, it's hard to heat and whatnot, so.
Justin, what did you have figured in there for maintenance? Do you recall? I don't have that in front of me.
Yeah, with all the stuff that we had quotes on, I think it was 90 grand, and what was in there for next year?
That was with what we had in there previously, for any other things that would come up, and then that figure of the 55,000 that we came up with.
What's in there this year is 30,000 for this year's budget. But if the roof gets done now and hold off on this stuff, if we get our plan going, 30 or 40,000 should be enough to get through a year again. It's up to you guys.
I'm sure we'll have an answer in 6 months, what's gonna happen with this.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, for next year, if we keep the same building as we got until we get an answer in 6 months on this, how much money do we wanna stick into there?
So you said that we currently have about $30,000 budget for the
My maintenance this year.
maintenance and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's basically, the roof is gonna be covered under the
Yeah.
2019 budget.
Right.
So.
So
if we-
far this year, they've spent $8,359 in repairs and maintenance over there, so they have the 12,000.
So it'll be right there, I mean, barring nothing major.
Next year, you got in there for 90,000.
Yeah, which was all that stuff he was talking about.
Correct, and that was current budget, the 30,000 that was in there. And then what we came up with repairs on that. And obviously, the roof would come off of that, because that would be this year. So,
I mean, if we basically take care of the roof this year and we throw $30,000 at the budget for maintenance on that building until we know what we're going on with this other project, that should pretty much cover everything that we have.
Once the wall falls in, it should be good.
and then anything major I can bring back to you.
That's what I would suggest doing then, is just in the budget figuring like a $30,000 budget allowance.
That's all I was getting at is,
That way we've got the number there to cover any incidentals.
We'll make that correction on there, and that's what we'll do then.
That way we can get this other stuff
That's what
figured
the
out.
board wants.
Hopefully we can get these other counties to.
at least then we'll, by next year's, by the time we, same place next year, we'll know what we're gonna do with this. Then if we have to, we can put 100,000 into that building to keep it going, or decide what we're gonna do with it.
How does that sound, Josh?
That's fine.
Is everybody else in agreement with that, or?
Sounds good.
I think the board's in agreement, and I'm okay with that. It's on, I'll just work with the board if anything comes up, and we'll get it figured out. I don't know if we're on budget yet. Are we gonna be talking about budget today?
That wasn't put on this agenda.
Huh?
It wasn't put on that agenda.
Oh, okay. If I were to change something at all,
Yeah, just let me know what changes you made.
okay. The only thing, I guess I'll put it on the record, it's an FYI, but, we put in 53,000 for the auto and major equipment. Kevin is what we went with that. I'm gonna ask him to change that to 56 because the pricing changed on it. So and it'll be all the equipment that's in it and stuff, so. Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I have, unless you guys have other questions.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
to her yet. She is up here. We haven't told her.
Yeah. Need a motion to approve the publication of the 2020 provisional budget.
I'm gonna make the changes with the 53-cent increase for everyone. The two changes Josh just said that he needed. After the provisional budget has to be published 2 weeks before the first Tuesday in September. But at that time, you guys can make changes to it. It just has to be listed in the paper, the specific changes made. I don't know if you want to have a special meeting before then, but if we wait till the next meeting, then I won't have enough time to publish. So I know that there's some question on the amount of employees that we're budgeted for. I don't know if you want to change that or not. You can change it at a later time if you want, or you can change it before it's published. But I do need time to publish.
We could change that at the next meeting, couldn't we?
And then, yeah.
Because if we have a budget, what's the next meeting, we can make any final changes at that time.
But the next meeting is going to be the 20th.
Right, but, I mean, we can make change, if we advertise it now, we can still make changes, being it's a provision.
Right, you can make changes before it's adopted as the annual.
Right.
Yeah.
I would so move to publish it.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any more discussion on that?
I guess I get just a question for Becky. Is the publishing an issue as far as if we wait with not having a special meeting on it? If we change some stuff, or what were you?
Well, it has to be advertised for 2 weeks before we adopt the provisional budget, and you have to do it, you're supposed to do it the first Tuesday in September. But we move our meeting to Thursday because there's a holiday that week, so it would have to be done on Thursday.
So we're okay doing this way as far as doing the meeting and then?
Yeah,
Are we gonna run
so
into
if even, being as we do have our meeting on Thursday, I think we would have enough time if we do make changes to it yet next
Okay.
meeting. I just thought that it would be the 5th of September. Yeah, because we made a rule that if there's a holiday on Monday, that we move our meetings to Thursday. So
Okay,
we'll still be
Becky,
in compliance then,
Because
so
of
we'll
that.
be able to make changes at the next meeting because it just, the paper comes out on Wednesday. So we would still hit the 2 week.
so I was just looking at that being, we're moving that over to the 5th. Could we make the changes on the 20th first and then do the provisional budget then, or? Because that would be more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I just said. We could make changes on the 20th, and it would be in the 28th paper and the 4th paper.
Okay. Clear as mud.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Yes, Amanda?
The reason why I have that item on the agenda today is on the 16th of July, we had that big storm go through. I was called out because there was a report of some wall clouds forming. And I had my personal vehicle because I didn't have time to get over here to get my EM vehicle. And as a result, I got right in the line of the hailstorm. And from that hail, it's determined that my personal vehicle is totaled. I have approximately $5,400 worth of damage on it. And I'm just requesting to approve at least reimburse me my $500 deductible. And this kind of goes back to, when I was talking about at our last budget meeting, to try to figure out a way to get me my EM vehicle on a regular basis, because this is the things that are happening. This is the liability to the county that I was mentioning, because this had already happened at that point in time. I just didn't know how bad it was actually gonna be. And so I just feel since I was out doing my job in my personal vehicle, I just request that at least my deductible get reimbursed back.
What's the rest of the commission feel about this?
I would so move to pay her deductible.
What's the rest of you guys think?
I guess I've got a question. If we do this, understand that because you had your personal vehicle, but what's to say when any other county employee comes to work over at Selby and their vehicle gets hailed out there at their job too?
Well, they're traveling on their way to their job, and I completely understand that. But I am being put into situations by doing my job and being out and about, by not having my EM vehicle, and responding to things in my personal vehicle, that I shouldn't have to really be in that situation, I don't think. Because, and maybe that's something that, I don't know, in a policy or what, you know, how you guys want to handle it, but, you know, if you don't want me going out on these calls, you know, in my personal vehicle, or if you want me to come over here, but in that situation, and in most situations, I don't have time to do the 45 minutes to come and get my vehicle and then get back to where I need to be. So I don't know really how to answer that situation, because this is part of my job, and going out, and so either I stay home and not expose myself to situations like that because I have my personal vehicle and not do my job properly, or I go and I risk, you know, having my personal property damaged because I'm doing my job. And that's the situation that I'm put in. You know, I don't really know how to answer that, because
The two differences are, one is in the scope of employment. When an employee comes over here to work, that's not within the scope of employment. When you take your personal vehicle out to do county business, that's within the scope of employment. That's the difference.
Kevin?
I can see both sides, and I don't know what the right answer is without us making a decision of when you should take your vehicle, your EM vehicle, with you home. But then when you do that, your personal vehicle is going to be left here.
not necessarily, because I usually ride over with him, you know, so that my vehicle is usually, when I have my EM vehicle, is not over here, typically.
I mean, anymore with weather forecasts and stuff, if you know there's gonna be a storm, I don't have a problem with you taking your vehicle, your EM vehicle home. But we need to set something down. I think we should say, okay, it's all right if there's a forecast for it, take your EM vehicle home. If there's not a forecast for it, leave the EM vehicle here. And we don't have any agreement on that right now, so I can see both sides of it. And I guess Jamie cleared it up, the difference between somebody else coming over for their job or you taking yours out. I didn't know if there was a difference in that, I don't know. I can see both sides of it, and I ain't sure what to do.
Davis?
I guess I would probably go along. She had to get out there. It's pretty important for her to eat.
Yes.
She's on call 24/7. Wouldn't you think if she lives in Mobridge, it'd be better to at least have it at the highway shop for her?
And that's actually what I typically do, is I just park it at the highway shop.
That way she can get to it faster. Still on county property.
Probably would make more sense than anything.
And if you don't want it sitting on her house or something, then that's an option. That's what the highway pickup used to do.
But then if she comes over here,
I have to bring it with me. That's always been the big thing, is the driving back and forth. And I know that, you know, Scott and I have talked before too, and at one point in time, the EM position was over in Mobridge. The office was over there when Don Ovi was it. You know, I don't know if there's, you know, office space for rent over there, if it would make sense to actually move my office over there. You know, that's just another avenue that we have spoke about. And I don't know if that would be right or wrong, or because I am essentially a branch of the sheriff's department. So it is nice to be in the same building, but to eliminate this back and forth, and because I do live in Mobridge, you know, is that an avenue that we could explore since it is budget time to, you know, move the office back over there? I don't know.
Yes, Kevin.
Is there room in the recycling building that we're paying for an office?
There's probably room, but it would not be very pleasant.
And there's no bathroom.
Yeah.
It's kind of you haven't been over there, there's kind of quite a bit of a smell in there.
And there's no air.
Doesn't the city have openings where
That's possible where the vet officer is. It's possible.
Well, I think let's kind of getting off track a little bit on this, but we should just finish what we're doing here, and I think that should be something that can be looked at. I think should be checked into it. We should figure this out with the vehicle, and that's the same with your personal vehicle, but that's the same way with the other vehicle. Personally, I think the right place to have it is over at Walworth. But like for driving back and forth, I think just them kind of details should be able to get worked out, I would think. But my opinion on the insurance, I feel that she should get paid her deductible. So if somebody's gonna make that into a motion.
We have a motion. We just don't have a second yet.
Well, did Jim put it into a motion? I guess I didn't hear it was a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second that.
A second. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Right?
Motion passed.
And then the second item, I guess, that we wanted to add, was that we had, no, we don't.
We're not gonna add it.
Okay.
We're not gonna- I figured it's only $71, so it's
Oh,
not
okay.
really necessary.
Sounds good. Okay,
Anything else?
that's all I have.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Discussion regarding Lake Malstead property.
I put that on there, thought we'd have an answer, I was supposed to have an answer yesterday, about trying to make a deal, but, that fell through, so I guess we're just gonna go ahead and proceed with, the tax deal that is on record, so. I don't know what else to do. I've been trying to get a hold of them and they won't return my calls, so we're just gonna go ahead and proceed with the tax, what do you call it, tax repossession or
The tax deed process.
tax deed process.
He did call my office yesterday, and he was gonna talk to Kevin yesterday, and I referred him to Jamie also.
I talked to him yesterday morning, he said he'd get back with me yesterday afternoon with an answer, and I tried 4 different times, so just go with the tax deed process. I don't know what else to do. We gotta act on it sometime, and
Alrighty. Anything else on that, Kevin?
nope.
4-H Achievement Days.
I forgot to stop down and get the numbers.
That's okay, I understand. Well, good morning, everyone. As you guys probably realize, we just finished Achievement Days. The 2019 static event was held on Monday, July 29th at the Mound City Community Center. Walworth County had 15 active members. and 5 clover buds that took items up to Mound City this year. They had 150 exhibits, 26 clover bud ribbons, 65 purple ribbons, 50 blue ribbons, and 8 red ribbons. And then we also had some kids that participated like in the youth in action portion, with like the fashion show, style show, and talent contest. On Friday, August 2nd, we had our livestock show here at the Walworth County 4-H Livestock Building in Selby. It started at 9 and we were finished by 5 in time for the barbecue at 5:30. This year we had, Walworth County had 11 swine, 10 sheep, 2 dairy goats, 9 meat goats, and 22 beef animals, which comes up to 56 hoofed animals. We also had 9 rabbits, 2 geese, and 25 chickens. We had a kiddie parade for kids that aren't quite 4-H age but are very interested, and we had 14 youngsters involved with that. When they finished, we gave them either the option of a halter or a bucket, and they also got a coupon for an ice cream. Then at the conclusion of the livestock show, we had what we call a round robin contest, and we had 6 senior age 4-H'ers involved with that. And they had to answer questions and take turns showing different livestock, and that included sheep, dairy, swine, and beef. And at the end of that, they, calculate who did the best on not only answering the questions, but showing the different livestock. And this year they awarded Chance Gregg as champion round robin showman. And there'll be articles in the paper too with more, explaining the actual ribbon placings and who had the grand champions and reserve champions. I mean, if you want to get into that, I can, but I just thought it would be like a brief overview of how it went and where we were going with it this year. There was good quality from the static exhibits and from the livestock exhibits. I expect to see a lot of that going to State Fair. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I just want to thank you, and just as a piggyback on that a little bit, I was out there. I heard a lot of great comments from the kids, and if you go out there and see all the kids that are younger than the 4-H ones that are actually waiting to get into 4-H.
They're not at the they want to get
To
back.
me, that's what was impressive. For the money that we put into 4-H and for what I see was coming out of it, that is by far probably one of the best programs that I think that we got going right now. There was a few other issues that came out of that I'll discuss with you guys later on, because I don't want to distract from the show. I was out there and it was a great opportunity, if you've never been out there, to see these little kids, the amount of time that they spend with their animals. And I did not make it up to the static display in Mound City, but there's a lot of time spent on the static displays also.
Yes, there is. And it's a great thing to see. And the thing that I'm especially proud of are these older kids, how they step up and help these younger kids that are so interested. I mean, they're even willing to teach kids that aren't 4-H'ers, which is exciting and encouraging to me, because it's drawing more interest to the program. Trying to help them get involved, or giving them pointers, or maybe even just letting them take their animal out for a walk. It's just really encouraging that the program is alive and well and growing steadily. I expect the numbers to continue to increase in the next upcoming years. The future for 4-H in Walworth and Campbell counties looks really good. Yes.
What age do they start 4-H?
January 1, they need to be 8, but they can become clover buds at age 5. On January 1, if they're 5 as of January 1, from 5 to 7. And we have, you know, the shirt tail youngsters that are, you know, they have older siblings and stuff that still tag along, and, I mean, you know, they want to help them older brothers and sisters, and, but it's a great opportunity, and then 4-H, of course, they can be in 4-H until after their 18th birthday. So, you know, because a lot of kids turn 18 after January 1, so they get an extra year, so they're practically, you know, 19 years old, but 18 in 4-H years, so. And I know that we focus a lot on achievement days and stuff, but we have a lot of kids that are in 4-H rodeo too, that are competing almost on a weekend basis. I think there's 16 kids in Walworth County currently active in 4-H rodeo. And that's kind of, they do their own thing, they go to whatever rodeos, and then they enter for whatever rodeos that they want to throughout the state. And so those kids are very, very active and doing very well too, I might add. I've seen a lot of championship buckles and stuff being won this year, so it's really cool. And then of course the other tie is that shooting sports thing. It's a very popular thing throughout the state, and it continues to grow with Walworth and Campbell too. Does anybody have any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any old business?
Just to piggyback on that just a little bit, we decided last year that the bathrooms was going to be open for this, and this year I guess the bathrooms wasn't open, so we need to make a decision next year on what we're going to do with that, because they're scrambling at the last minute to get porta potties out there is one of the problems. I don't understand, I guess, being we have a new highway superintendent, might not have known that last year we approved the bathrooms being open.
I never even thought about it.
So, I don't know, that was one of the bigger issues. And there was a couple other issues that I'll get with you, but that was some of the issues that we had. But overall, it went tremendously well.
Anything else in old business? New business?
None, I make a motion to adjourn.
Take a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?